Hey guys, got a Intex sand filter pump. It's making quite a racket. I'm not going to subject you to that noise, but sounds like the bearings are bad. I've already torn it down once, but in looking around on the internet, I've seen that there's a lot of folks asking to see these things taken apart. How do you break them down to work on them? And so I kind of put it back together pretty loosely. I'm just going to walk you through tearing it down one more time. So as it comes off the pull, you got your inlet here, outlet back to the sand filter over here. The sand filter sits on this side here. But so first, you want to take the ring off the strainer basket here. Take the top off. Okay, strainer basket comes out. On the inside here, there's a little Intex threaded ring, kind of a lock collar sort of setup here. You just reach in there, turn it to the left. You can do it with your hands. That's what it looks like. So that comes out. Right. And then this assembly just pulls right off. Okay, so that's your strainer bucket. Comes right off like that. Okay, on your plate here, there's about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. I've got just one left here. Let me find the Phillips head and my nasty workbench. All right. And do be careful, the nuts are not secured, so they will pop out on you. But there you go. And so that cover comes off. And just set your nut and screw bolt aside there. So that's the intake there to the center, and the volute to the outlet right there. All right. You want to see the front of the device. Here's the impeller here, spun by the motor. And just as a reminder, make sure this thing is unplugged before you start working on it, because that thing starts spinning while you have your fingers next to it. Could hurt. On top up here in the power control box, again making sure that everything's disconnected, you got 4 Phillips head screws on the top. This has a seal on it, so it does take a little bit of pulling to get it loose initially. Okay, then on the inside, all right, you got a number of wires, and you're basically looking over here. You want to take that nut loose. The ground is down here. Okay, then there's another connection to the motor here on the yellow, and also some switches. Basically, figure out which wires you need to unhook in the control box. Take off the 4 screws around the base here. So you got 4 screws around through there, and the whole assembly will lift, and you can slide it back. And underneath there's a stack of wires. I don't know if you can see it in the video. There's a stack of wires goes up into the power supply and control unit on top. And if you apply tension, some gentle tension to that, you'll actually see which wires penetrate down into the motor, and that'll tell you which ones to disconnect. Make a drawing of this so you know how to put it back together, or pop a picture with your cell phone. All right. So once you're trying to get this thing reassembled, if you're trying to reassemble it, you can't. Okay, I thought I was going to be able to do this a lot quicker. There we go. And getting some of these wires loose is a little tricky. And just make sure you will have to undo several nuts to get these done. But hopefully not too many. Alright, so it looks like we are all set here. Let me get these little blade connectors are a little picky sometimes. You got one that comes up here to the PC board on top, and then the grounding wire hiding out down here that you have to take the switch pieces loose to get it out. Alright. So that should be everything. Should slide right off. And then there comes the motor cover and control box. Set it to the side. Alright. And then on the back, let's see, where did it go? It came off with it actually. I hadn't screwed it back on. On the back here, there's a little plastic cover for the cooling fan. That should have been in there, but it came off with the motor control box, I believe. Take that off. 2 screws right here. So that just pops right off. There's your cooling fan. All right. Flat-headed screwdriver. And there's a slot right here on the prop shaft. Okay. So just put the flat-headed screwdriver in there. Grab hold of the impeller. Turn it to the left, and so counterclockwise, you know, lefty loosey, all that good stuff, and it should slide right off the prop shaft from the motor. Okay, there's 3 bolts On here, I only put one back in. You want to take those loose with Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, again, keeping up with everything. And so then the rest of the volute and the front facing come right off. And then you now have full access to the motor. As far as actually replacing the bearings, I haven't gotten that far, but you can see they really need to be done. So, all right guys, hope that helps you out. And if I get around to actually replacing the bearings instead of just buying a new pump, I'll make a video on that as well. Hope this helps. Be careful. Make sure everything's unplugged. There is a capacitor in the control box. Be sure you don't bridge the contacts on it. It's under the PC board. That could give you a little shock there. And keep up with all your screws, bolts, separate them out, and then when in doubt, make a drawing of what you've done. Okay? Thanks, guys.